Hello, Mr. Swinger One here. Figured I'd make a video. I haven't made one in a while. I've been sort of cruising the comments section on YouTube, and I was kind of chatting with Rich 220 today. He's working on his '57 Chevy, adjusting his his rockers, his basically valve lash on his hydraulic lifters. And I was telling him, hey, you can adjust them running, or I remember doing it back in the day where you turned the engine to top dead center, and you could adjust a certain number of valves, turn it 180 and do the rest. And I came home and I pulled the book out because I couldn't remember. But there's two ways to do Chevys. Ideally, and I've done them all. So Chevys, you got to adjust the hydraulic lifters. Mopars and Ford are kind of easy. Mopar has the rocker shaft. You make sure the notches are pointing the right way, and you torque them down. And then Ford is positive stop. You just torque them down, and you start the car up. The lifters pump up, and everything's great. Chevys, you might have ticking if they're not adjusted properly. If they're adjusted too tight, the car will start running weird because the valves don't close all the way. Stuff like that. This here is a rocker clip. I tried to comment on Rich 220. They said, if you adjust them running, it's an oily mess. This is an old clip. You would need 8 of these to put on each rocker right where the oil hole comes up. And it's around a push rod. You can see there's a little curve there. It goes around the push rod. And you could start the car up and adjust them running if you had these clips, and it wouldn't shoot oil all over, down your exhaust, all over your engine bay. So that's one way to do it, running. And then you would snug it down till it stops ticking. And I always went a quarter turn. I'd bring the ratchet around to noon and come down to 3. I'm going to read the procedure here out of the Chilton manual, 64 to 71, I believe this is the book. And this isn't necessarily for Rich, but it gave me the idea to look into this. I think he's probably done by now. But it says, adjust rocker arm nuts to eliminate lash. This must be done when lifter is on the base circle of the cam. Remove distributor cap. Crank engine until rotor points to number 1 cylinder terminal with points open. The following valves can be adjusted with the engine in number 1 firing position. Now they have their 4, 6, and 8 cylinder here. But V8 is intake number 1, 2, 5, 7. Exhaust number 1, 3, 4, 8. Turn adjusting nut until all latch is removed from this particular valve train. This can be determined by checking pushrod side play while turning the adjustment. When all play has been removed, turn adjusting nut one more turn. This will place the lifter plunger in the center of travel. Like I said, I always went a quarter turn. You could go a half. The book's saying you could go a whole. That just pushes the plunger down in the lifter further. Now, follow steps 2 and 3 to adjust the remaining valves. The following valves can be adjusted with the engine in the number 6 firing position. That's 180 off of 1. Intake number 3, 4, 6, 8. Exhaust number 2, 5, 6, 7. Readjust lifters as follows with the engine hot and running. Remove rocker arm covers and gaskets. Place oil deflector clips with engine running at idle. Back off rocker arm nut till it starts to clatter. Turn nut down until clatter stops. This is the 0 last position. Tighten nut down 1/4 turn. Pause 10 seconds. Repeat until nut has been tightened down 1 full turn from 0 lash. Repeat steps 3, 4, and 5 for all rocker arms. So it's saying to adjust them static, warm it up, and then adjust them with these clips. I can tell you I've already done just this method on a small block 350. Started up and they didn't tick, and I didn't bother with it ever again. And I had a 78 Blazer. I drove it like that. This is what the book says. But I was trying to tell Rich in the comment section, sometimes trying to type it all out. I figured I'd come on and speak to it a little bit. I hope this helps anybody out there. There is stuff. I tried Googling this. Google comes up. It tells you to get each rocker on the base circle and tighten down to 0 lash and go, a quarter turn. That's my preference. You can do that, but you're turning the engine for every cylinder. This way, you're just turning the crank once to set it at number 1, and then you're turning it again to set it at number 6. Then you're going around to each one of those listed valves and snugging them down because they're already on the base circle. I mean, that's all that is. But like I said, Rich 220 gave me the idea. I wish him luck with his car. I like watching Rich, and I'll tell you why. He's probably my age, a year older. He's out there doing it outside on the ground. I still work on the ground. I try to avoid as much as possible. When I do have to, I try to be in a garage. Especially when it's cold, I try to be in a garage where there's heat. But Rich, I used to do all that stuff he's doing 30 years ago when I was in my 20s. So hats off to Rich for getting it done. I'm sure he loves that car, and I'm looking forward to seeing it run. And I hope this little bit of information helps. Rich is probably already done with his setup, but anybody out there that's wondering about this valve lash procedure, it's in the book, any Chilton manual. Like I said, it's specific to small block Chevy. And I kind of went over the way Mopars and Fords are. They're the easiest. You just look up the torque spec and run them down. Not saying they don't have their problems, but that's another subject. Anyway, thanks for watching, and take care, everyone.